Mega Win Johnson here once again, filling in for that coward Michael Win Johnson. Just like the last time he reviewed a Disney film when he sent in Muppet Win Johnson, he sent me here to introduce Real School's review of Wreck-It Ralph. I guess I can't blame him. If I weren't a collection of pixels, I'd be terrified of Disney and their global dominance too. I mean, they literally just became the evil empire that controlled Darth Vader. This is Real School. Well, I'll give my cute little 8-bit friend a break. Besides, nothing can top the real thing. I might be joking just slightly when it comes to Disney owning the world, but the fact of the matter is, we couldn't have a movie like Wreck-It Ralph if it weren't for a company like Disney being able to own the rights to some of these video game characters. And I, for one, couldn't be happier. Just keep smiling, they may be watching. While I wish there were a few more cameos by classic video game characters, this movie was exactly what I wanted. It was Toy Story for... well, I'd like to say the 21st century, but really it seemed catered more towards my generation. Real old school games. The game that Wreck-It Ralph is in, Fix-It Felix Jr., well, it's really an amalgam of Mario Brothers and Rampage. For my younger viewers who probably never played it, let me just tell you that aside from Mega Man, Rampage is probably the best video game of all time. So clearly the creators of Wreck-It Ralph weren't showing actual video game characters for the most part, but most of their games and the characters within the universe were homages to classic video games. I especially like the world they created in Sugar Rush, which is basically a bright and colorful version of Mario Kart. Wait. Bright and more colorful than Mario Kart? I personally had 3 seizures during the movie. This is where I have a couple of issues with the film. Touching on the bright and colorful, I did feel like this movie was Disney to the millionth degree. There were a lot of moments where the soundtrack kicks into high gear and you just roll your eyes at the pop culture nature of the whole thing. Or times when the subtext is just screaming, "Buy these toys!" They don't just place the mouse ears on your head, they beat you over the head with it. Because of that, we spend way too much time in Sugar Rush when we could be in other worlds and other games. And because of that, it makes it feel like the second act of this film is about 80% of the time you're watching. But the filmmakers and animators put a lot of detail into this world, and I can see why they would want to spend a lot of time there. A positive side note when having all that detail is the fact that the characters just seem so real because the world is so developed. And you get crazy characters like Taffeta Mutton Fudge and Rancis Flutterbutter. Although, did I see that right? Was Disney once again being a little racially insensitive? Was it me or did the black girl have a little cotton candy afro? My favorite character actually came out of Sugar Rush, and the fact is he worked on a lot of levels. King Candy. First off, he was voiced by Alan Tudyk. Right there, Whedon-related geekgasm. But it was what the animators and Tudyk as the voice actor did with the character that I really appreciated as a well-versed animation fan. They weren't shy in creating an obvious homage to the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland. No, not that one. Yeah, the classic 1951 animated version. Not only did King Candy look like the original Hatter, but Tudyk did an amazing impression. It was a tribute to Ed Wynn, who did the original voice for Hatter. Tudyk is finally in a movie where I can say this, that Alan Tudyk and King Candy is Wreck-It Ralph's for the win. Or should I say, for the win. Tudyk was also the best actor in terms of creating a character. Not to take anything away from the rest of the cast, but the fact is all the other characters were really typecast. Jane Lynch and Jack McBrayer, well, they even look like their characters on screen. I guess it's no mistake, but it wasn't really a challenge for these veteran actors. Sarah Silverman's Vanellope was just like Silverman. She was funny at times, but really annoying at others. All the characters were great though. They had many levels, they had believable backstories, and they built real friendships with one another. Which attests to the story. It wasn't a typical one-dimensional Disney storyline. It had twists, some of which were very dark. It had a great moral, too, about bullying and acceptance. It felt like everything was earned. Nothing was just convenient or happened quickly because it was catered for children. So, to be expected, if everything was earned, this movie was an earn it. I will say that as much as Disney bought Pixar and tries to be Pixar, they just ain't Pixar. Disney even had a computer-generated short as a prologue to the film, much like Pixar does, Paperman. And let me tell you, that was actually very well done. But for some reason, Disney compared to Pixar just lacks the subtlety, the sense of humor, the artistic nature, and the ability to cater to both adults and children. Just goes to show, Disney, looks like you can't buy everything. So for a poll question, what is your favorite video game movie? That's a tough one because there are a lot of crappy video game movies out there. As always, leave your answers in the comment section below. And until next time, school's out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.